deserve a proper raise, and they're counting on you to not know actually how to tabulate the raise that you should be getting because it's a game and you can't play the game if you don't know the rules. And so people are out here celebrating these little coins, having no clue that thousands of dollars were available to them, but they know that folks won't ask questions. They're just excited to get a check. And you know you deserve more. So I'm gonna teach you how, because you can't play the game if you don't know the rules. Hi, my name is Beverly. I'm a Chief Operating Officer having scaled operations for over a decade and in over 6 fields. And this is how to play the corporate game, part 17, negotiating a raise. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to calculate inflation, okay? Don't let these people play with you. These little 1% raises, get out of here. You're going to go to a calculator on any search engine of your choose. Just look up inflation calculator for 2025. You're going to put your salary in there, okay? That is what the inflation rate for your salary is. So when they're like, we're going to give you a promotion, everyone's getting bonuses, and it's for inflation, don't let these people play in your face. First thing you're going to do is tabulate that inflation rate so you know exactly what the amount you should be getting anyway to account for it as you head into the negotiation room. Now that you've tabulated the inflation rate as it relates to your salary, you need to then now calculate what your new base is. When you first started at this role, you might have had different expenses. You might have had different responsibilities or whatever the case. You need now to reevaluate over the last year. Have I gotten a new car note? If I started a family, what is the new base for you as it relates to your day-to-day expenses? Again, this is not your travel. This is not your whatever. And if you want a deeper dive, I did do a previous video on how to calculate these things. But it's really important that you are looking at your new base, because inflation aside, you might have new bills to pay. And so you want to ensure that you have a proper picture. And that includes the new base of your expenses that you are paying for just to live, right? Plus inflation. That is the new base. Now that you are equipped with your new base, which includes inflation plus your base level expenses, you have to start talking to each other. I cannot stress enough that these systems thrive on you all siloing each other, by people siloing each other, because you fight for these little pieces of pie, having no clue that larger pieces are either in there or out somewhere else. But because, if you're working for a company that is not transparent about pay bands, they're not transparent about how performance metrics are assessed, they're not transparent at all about pay in any capacity, you all need to be each other's biggest advocates. And if you are struggling to find that within your department, reach out to employees who no longer work there, who are from your department. You can say, hey, I'm trying to expand my network. I work here now. I'd love to grab a coffee or a virtual coffee if you have time, just to connect on best practices as it relates to the department or your experience. And ultimately, if they choose to get coffee with you and you've established a rapport, again, be empowered and say, hey, are you comfortable with sharing with me ultimately what you were making there, because I do want to put my best foot forward and advocate for myself, and it'd be just really helpful to know that. If they are tight-lipped, then you need to be doing market research to see what other people in your field, your skill set, and I break it down in another video. I break it down how you can do market research. Do the research to see what you actually should be making by that point based off of your skill set and experience. They're not counting on you not only to be communicating and talking with each other, but most importantly, not doing the research that you need to be aptly prepared to have the conversations you should be having to best advocate for yourself. Now it's time for the meeting. And there's a couple ways that these meetings happen, right? The first way is they'll give you a number and they'll say, hey, this is your raise. Congratulations. The second way is that they'll say, hey, we're thinking about this. We're really excited about you. This is the raise we're assessing, but we want you to be a part of the process and let us know how it feels. Or 3, they may tell you that there's a sliding scale for a raise. They may be transparent about what those scales are, how they're calculated, how they're transparent, and so on. And so you may know heading in there what those are, or they may be able to tell you transparently what it is. Regardless of what number they give you, you are now equipped to determine whether or not they are playing in your face. You now have inflation, you now have your new base, and you have done market research about where you should be right now. You'll be able to know now in 2 seconds how they value you, or if they do. And in some cases, that you may look at that number and go, great, it exactly meets where I believe I should be based off of the market research I've done and blah, blah, blah. You may also look at that number and go, whoa, what? Now that you are equipped with the number that they feel you are worth, whether that be for a promotion or a raise, you now have to make a determination. You have your data, right? You have this number. So you need to determine if that number is close to it, whether or not you'll stay and be like, great, okay, it's close enough. I'll stay. I'll continue to grow. Maybe I have a great supervisor. Maybe I'm getting new skill sets. Great, cool, awesome. If it is nowhere close, and they do not give you an opportunity to negotiate, Because the way you would negotiate that is exactly how you would negotiate a job offer. Hey, I've done market research. I've looked at inflation. I've assessed the market currently, and I've also assessed, other roles within the department. And this is not anywhere close to where it really should be at this point. Can you help me understand where these figures came from and how we can get closer to where I feel I should be in relation to the market? You always should ask anyway, but they balk at that and say, well, this is what we've always done. And this is the system and this is the whatever. You're going to say thank you. You're going to take that raise and you're going to immediately start searching. Immediately. Do not fear this market more than you value yourself. Better is always out there. And these systems, especially at companies where they know that better is out there, we all know. One of the main things that I have learned in my career from other mentors has been, and sometimes in order to grow up, you have to grow out. A lot of leaders are taught that. They just don't want you to know that. And so there is a reason why in a lot of data and a lot of different studies that sometimes people, every time they shift to a different position, they grow by 40, 50, 60% an increase in pay. Because another space will value you. So again, if you get something that is actually really nice, you like your environment, you like the space, it's pretty close enough, you're okay, it meets your needs, cool, stay. I'm talking to the people who get this slid across the table and it is insulting and you don't know what to do next. And what you're going to do is you're going to say thank you, you're going to accept it, and then you're going to start applying and head out the door. Because you now know what numbers you actually should be looking at. And if you try to negotiate and they are not having it, that's how they don't value you. And how companies value you is directly tied to the amount of money they are willing to invest in you, whether that be through paying for conferences, certifications, your salary, your pay raises, your promotions, full stop. Do not let these folks lie to you and say that, oh, well, we really value you because they gave you a gift card at the All Hands. Or we really value you because they let you lead the most recent happy hour. No. Where they show their value is in how they pay you, how they promote you, how they develop you, and ultimately how you are set up for success to be beyond them. And because there are so many companies that are out there that do that development and do pay equitably and do support their teams and do have mission and values that they live by, the companies that are not doing that are counting on you to not only silo each other, but also to be okay with the okie doke. And if you found this video, you're not okay with that. And you are going to be equipped and empowered to head into any meeting to be able to showcase not only in demonstrating the data and your experience and your skill set, but frankly, that you want to give them the stage to show you that they value you. And it's up to them whether or not they turn on the mic and let you know. Next one's called the Pick Me promo, not to be confused with the They Just Like You promo, okay? Because they may like you and you deserve that promotion. But let me be very clear. The Pick Me promotion, a lot of the hate that you be given